It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Nelson Mandela captured it perfectly. It always seems impossible until it's done. Well, it's done. Today, we celebrate the incredible journey of skipper Sibusiso Zizatu and only female crew member Azile Akhosi, two members of the history-making Alexforbes ArchAngel crew. Now, these inspiring young South Africans have overcome seemingly insurmountable obstacles. They crossed the finish line after 3,300 nautical mile ocean crossing from Cape Town to Guanabara Bay. And of course, we have got this amazing team sitting in studio with us, joined by Varesh Maharaj, who I think must be one of the proudest people on the planet right now. I'm going to get to you in just a moment. First of all, I'm going to say to the two of you, well done. You were hoping to just make it.
Yeah.
Just make it. We just want to stay afloat. Have you been able to put this into perspective, into context in your own head, that you've achieved this?
Oof. We're still over the moon and the dream is still there. We're still enjoying the moment. Yeah, like we said before, we just want to go and cross the line. But amazingly, we did more than that. We came in the podium. So like I said, it's an extra bonus for us as well. Yeah.
How were you able to do this? What was that thing, Azile, that played out while you were out on that water that allowed you to transcend what seemed like pretty clear boundaries set, and it felt like you had already broken down all the boundaries just to get onto that incredible, I want to call it a boat, a yacht. It's one of the most amazing pieces of art that we have seen, but you had to make it work. How did you guys do that? How did you find that click? What was the X factor in this race?
For us, first of all, we've been sailing for like years, but for me, it was my first time crossing the ocean, so being on the ocean for that long, it was just exciting, especially in the first days because everything was just going so well. But in the middle of the race, we got tired and all that, but we kept pushing because we knew that there are people that are already there waiting for us. We just needed to make them proud, make our sponsors proud, yes. And then coming third on the podium was just like, oh, that was a huge thing for us. We were jumping on the start line. You should have seen us. We were so excited. It was like, we came first, but it's just the third place. But
you say, we wish we could be there. Well, we are going to go there right now, in fact, because I need to see this for myself. 16 teams lined up at the start, hailing from South Africa, Brazil, India, Italy, and the United States of America, with 3 boats withdrawing during the challenging event. That's how tough it got. The overall race was won by Atalanta, the Ray of Light in second position, and then Alexforbes ArchAngel in third. An incredible achievement, and we were lucky enough to have a front row seat at the prize giving to be there for at least one of the moments. Take a look.
This was the 50th edition of the Cape2rio yacht race. This year was particularly interesting, the fact that we had 16 boats, and I think the most important aspect of this race was the ArchAngel campaign, and that was partnered with Alexforbes.
For Youth Award and the IRC third goes to Alexforbes ArchAngel. This is an overview for your Cape Town audience, how great the race was. Yeah. First things first, I would like to thank all the support you guys gave to us. I remember the first morning when I wake up, we slept here, the team slept here, because we were scared. It was the 1st of January, so we were scared we might do something wrong out there, we were young. I remember the morning when I was nervous, I wanted to hide. I just couldn't believe this was already happening. And then when I stepped out and see the audience, the spectators out there, that actually motivated us to say, okay, now we've got this. We can go out there and shine. Thanks to Jen for all the things that you do. We stressed you a lot. I'm sure you're happy now. All right, so big congratulations to Alex.
Absolutely amazing. Varesh, no pressure when you put this much resource into an iconic event like this. Have you been able to put this in perspective from your lens?
Well, it's still something we're absorbing, and we are so incredibly proud of what the team's achieved. And for us, what we were hoping and saw from the outset is that this team can act as a symbol of hope to many South Africans and different communities. And how it's played out through the course of the race itself is that that symbol of hope became even more apparent. The grit and determination of this team that took them to the start line is actually what carried them through from the start to the finish itself. I mean, as they'll tell you, it was not smooth sailing. You can't take a South African anywhere because in the middle of the Atlantic, they had load shedding. And they'll tell you about that themselves. But their ability, the mindset to overcome, to make a plan, took them all the way to Rio. And that, for us, is actually more important than the podium. It's the example that they set for us right now, that despite what we're going through, as South Africans, we've been through a lot.
Yeah.
And we can get through a lot, and that we can get to where we want to be.
No, completely. But it's also an outcome. And you live in a very outcome-based world, I would imagine, as much as this is a notion of heart. Why should companies be doing it to this degree?
Well, because it makes a difference. It makes an impact in people's lives, in the people involved, the team themselves, their families, their communities. It's actually made such an impact, and I've said it to them before, on our own employees. And in the times that we're living in right now, the ability to just put out that light of hope makes a difference to people's lives.
Azile, no pressure, just the youngest female, most awesome human being on the earth. Just go and prove that to the rest of the world. But what do you think it means for another young black girl to see you do this?
Especially sailing is a male-dominated industry.
sure.
So for me to be outgoing like all the way to Rio, representing not only girls, but all black South Africans, I think it was such a huge thing for me because I think I proved to other girls that we also can do it. Even though it's a male-dominated sport, we can also do the same thing that the guys can do. So I think I've made them proud.
And do it a little better, I think. Just a little better to get onto that podium. Sibo, I joke about those worst moments, but you've got these amazing young people under your care. How crazy does it get out there? Take us into the load-shedding moment, or that moment where you, in your heart of hearts, thought, whoa, okay. This is tough. This is that make or break moment. Was there one? Were there many?
We had quite a few moments where we had some tough times out there. We had some rudder issues, cells failing. We had to adjust the cells to a smaller cells. And then when the time the load shedding happened, it was more of our problem because we were quite careless. We had the speaker box, phones, charging and stuff like that. The next thing, the batteries are flat. So,
that's life.
Yeah, and we didn't bring something to charge the batteries. So we ended up with load shedding, and we ended up going to the old school chart work, chart and plotter. Yeah.
Which might have been the best thing, because look at the end result. I've got to ask you, because clearly this is your calling.
Yeah.
What message do you have right now to those that are wanting to achieve, and not necessarily in sailing, but in the space where we dare to dream?
From my side, I would say if you have a dream, stick to it. There are many challenges that you face. I mean, like, you find people giving you negative things, you find people giving positive things, but stay in line, that's it. Just keep focusing on your dream, just keep going. One day, something will pop up. Just prepare yourself for that day, that's it.
Well, clearly you were prepared in every way possible, so thank you so much. I know it might feel like a wonderful, warm, fuzzy moment to you guys right now, but I get to see the bigger picture of how these play out. I'll get to interview the next up-and-coming sailor who's been inspired by you. I know that, because this is how the last 15 years of my life have worked. So this is big. This really is big, so thank you.
Thank you.
Just strength. Absolutely love that. The Alexforbes ArchAngel proved to be her name exactly. Their crew have shown us that dreams literally can and often do here in South Africa come true, no matter what the background, no matter where you come from. And for more on their remarkable journey and the history that they have made in the golden anniversary of the iconic race to boot, visit Cape2rio.live and discover how they've inspired, I think, an entire globe.
Alexforbes stands for connecting today's aspirations with tomorrow's reality.